silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Creeping through the twisted wood, echo shards where warriors stood. Just a breath, just a wish. No more war, no final fist. Wisdom whispers in the night. Strength and peace, no need to fight. Witness walk in soft embrace. No battle scars, no deadly taste. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Silent shadows trace the ground. In this silence we are bound. Greatest victory found with ease. No need to fight, no need to cease. Shadows crawl from the grave, whisper secrets dark and brave. Eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker, casting dread. Ghostly wails fill my head. Chasing demons lost in time. Sanity a steep climb. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Blood-stained blade in hand. Stand your ground, make a stand. Cursed whispers fill the air. Spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Off with his head, she screamed. Blood moon's eerie gleam. Battle cries through the dark, leaving fear's deep mark. Echoes of sins long past, fighting shadows deep and vast. Blood-stained blade in hand. Stand your ground, make a stand. Cursed whispers fill the air. Spirits cry, beware, beware. Through the fog and through the flame, monsters here know my name. Silence screams, hearts break. Nightmares come wide awake. Warriors of woe take flight. Darkened souls embrace the fight. Shadows crawl from the grave. whisper secrets dark and brave, eyes that pierce into the night. Monsters come, we must fight. Candles flicker.
Of course. Morning, everybody. I apologize for the delay. Give me just a minute. Alright, that should be popping up in a second. There we go. I sincerely apologize for the delay. Welcome to another episode of Game Design. I'm Alan with Mr. Bites. So tonight we're going to do it just the same as we had last week. Give me just one moment. That is not showing everything. There it is. Okay. Helps when I scroll up. So we're going to be continuing with the creation of our character sheets. Before I do that, let me move that a little bit. Alright, is that still legible for y'all? Hey, Jersey, how you been doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Give me one moment to get the music started. I feel that. It's been moderately cool and rainy up here, and the past, just past couple days, it's been upstate New York hot, which is not the same thing as southern hot, I fully understand and remember, but it's been decently fucking warm up here. Oops. No, I'm not gonna upgrade. Fuck you. Ah! Alright. Oh, fuck that shit. No, thank you. You know I used to live in Louisiana, and I've still got friends that live down there. Fucking February, I'm getting messages from them. Yeah, it was 97 this morning. Dude, no. I left hell for a reason, man. Upstate New York has its own foibles, but fuck that heat. So, one thing we're going to be doing that's a little different. If you look on the right, you're going to see a list. Any of the names of organizations that are in red, I have not yet done. So, if you have an idea for a character concept, let me know, and I will absolutely assign it to one of the organizations, and we will make that one of the official Beginner Box characters. That's my thank you for hanging out, watching the stream, and supporting. And going to the beach in January, man, I was stationed on Guam one time, and I remember we're all out at the beach, my whole shop, and we're just hanging out, and just in the middle of the day, I fucking froze. Why are we at the beach? It's Tuesday, right? I don't think it was actually Tuesday, but you know what I mean. It's the week. We should be working. Why are we here? And I remember my sergeant looking at me and going, Jessup, it's Christmas. Right. It was December, it was 87, we were all on the beach, and I did not compute. My northerner brain could not wrap myself around that shit, man. Oh, I'm also trying to break myself of a habit I realized I have. I have two monitors. One of them is right here, and one of them is here. And I find myself talking to to here. I may need to turn some things around, but... So, just like before, once I get working on the character, I am going to be quiet, and we are going to plow through it. Once I'm done, that is when I will answer more questions. That is when I will explain what I've done. It worked out pretty well last time. So we're going to do it again. But give me 1 second. I need to delete at least the aptitude for everybody so I don't confuse myself. Given. Alright. Hey Noel, how you been doing? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Alright, I'm not sure if you were on to here. If you look on the right of the screen, I'm moving my mouse over like you can see it, but those are the 8 organizations that you can join in the Shattered World. When you make your character for the first time, you have to join one of these 8. The ones that are in red, the Keepers of the Garden, the Starlight Network, Safe Haven Project, Necessary, and Vae Victis, are the ones I still have to make the beginner box character for. If you have a character concept that you want to see me try to bring to life, let me know, and I will work it in. Right now, we've got the Librarian as part of the Ardor of the White Eye. They're the one good at identifying stuff. We've got the Merc, which was a demolitions and sniper expert. And then we've got, for the morning after, the Talk Tank. So, I am going to get started on one of the characters. Is there... Nope. So there's what, 5 left? We're going to roll a d6. 1. So what is the first one? Keepers of the Garden. Alright, I am going to be quiet as I get to work. Feel free to ask any questions, and I will answer them just as quick as I can, I promise. Concept is done. Attribute. And does that flip over? Yes, it did. Awesome. Done. Skills. Otis 7. Where was my... 3, 3, 12. How about we do... Let's do 3 there for now. So, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15 points are spent. Enhancements. Handy. Tempting. I like the idea of touch. Soul is interesting. I'm gonna go with touch for now. Nice. Not me realizing I forgot to change the name. Alright, so we are absolutely going to take Free Runner. And then what are my Overwhelmed and Show Off? Done, done, done. Culture and occupation. Awesome. So we're going to go EMS. Field medicine, homeopathic, and triage. I'm using a medical kit. Heal an extra person. Reduce the penalty to -1 and heal extra stamina. Okay. No. No, we're going to go with Field Medic for now, because I already have their idea in my head. Hey, Mind, welcome to the stream. Alright. If someone wants to do me a favor and fill Mind in, I would appreciate it. There we go. Too many tags. Done, done. So we'll do heal, we'll do empathy, we'll do streetwise. Done. Okay. And then where was Daredevil? Awesome. Or... athlete. Let's do athlete. And no cell, inspiring athleticism. Perfect. Requires endurance 4, rookie athletics. So let's do athletics, let's do evasiveness, and let's do perception. Alright, done. And done. So you are good. Did I? Ow. Thought I closed you. Oh well. Alright, organization. We already know what that's gonna be. Resolve goes up, knowledge goes up. Alright, my merits are drawbacks. Give me 1 second, all. Alright. Rookie knowledge, which I have. Focus biology. I haven't picked one yet, but I can. Spend 2 actions. Make a check. I like that. We're gonna go with that. Let there be life. Which means... Alright, I will take a pause for a second. Welcome time to the stream. No, I don't get rejected on Tinder. I just, nobody swipes. Which I guess is a kind of rejection. Aww. Anyway. So, the depressing porn backstory is next. I'm actually going to be opening up an OnlyFans where you can see me do this and see my hairy chest, because that's going to sell books. Joking aside, watch my viewer count plummet at that. I love Timber. It's great. Sometimes I can't speak well. Oh, I can't do that. That's bad. You're bad. No, that's bad. No, no, no. So, you're all bastards. I love you all. Yes, to answer your question, Mind, we are doing, character creation. These are going to be the characters for, the 0 hour briefing, which is our beginner box. And now I'm distracted. God damn you all. So, if you look on the right of the screen, you'll see Ardor of the White Eye, Keeper of the Garden, etc. With the exception of Keepers of the Garden, which is the one I'm working on right now, the red ones are ones I haven't done yet. That's horrible, Mind. That's fucked up. I'm impressed a little bit, but that's fucked up. Anyway, so when the Shattered World launches, we're going to launch a beginner box and then the core rulebook. The beginner box will be a little cheaper, and it will have a truncated version of the rule set. I'm so used to looking this way instead of looking at the damn camera. Anyway, the beginner box will have a truncated version of the rule set, pre-made characters, and everything you need to run a short adventure. Then if you decide you like it, you can go get the core rulebook, or if you just want to get the core rulebook, you can absolutely go straight ahead and do that. Or wait, did Matt say... Wait. God damn it. So, I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but Mind and Mad, both of your names are in the exact same shade of purple. And on my screen, it's alternating, so it's Mind, Mad, Mind, Mind, Mad, Mad. Fuck all. No. No chest hair sample. You're all bad people. I'm going to church. Yeah, on mine, you're both the exact same shade of purple. But if you have an idea for a character concept that you want to see, everyone on the stream right now, oh, that's horrible. Witchy, welcome. Super, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Good to see y'all. Oh, fuck you, Mad. Welcome to the stream. This is our game design and character creation stream for the Shattered World, which is our upcoming tabletop RPG. Tonight, I am creating the different characters for the beginner box, which will be launching this year. So welcome. Welcome. Look around. It's good to see ya. If you have any questions, let me go ahead and say what the Shattered World is. So the Shattered World, like I said, is the tabletop RPG that we're working on. It is an urban fantasy game, modern fantasy game. It is a 2d12 dice system. All you will ever need to play the game are two 12-sided die, and it is a classless system. Rather than being a level 1 rogue or a level 1 wizard, whatever, you put your experience points directly into what skills you want. Boo, Fate. Boo. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you too. Anyone who I've missed, you are absolutely okay, man. Feel free. Raid and run. You are good. Witchy, if I haven't said hi, welcome. Let me try to do as many shoutouts as I can remember. If I miss one of them, Fate, Super, Witchy, check them all out. They're fucking awesome. I've seen their streams. They're all great people, great streamers. If I could fucking spell, that would be awesome. I have. I think I lurked the one time I caught it because I was technically at work. I swear I've seen your stream. Am I going crazy? I mean, that's fucking possible. Okay, apparently there's a time limit on how often you can give shoutouts. I swear to God, I've seen your stream, Witchy. Not even any videos found on your channel. God, okay, I'm going crazy. That may be what I'm thinking of. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a little scatterbrained, so yeah. We are all going crazy. Great people to be going crazy with. So, if you look on the right, what you're going to see is a list of names. In the Shattered World, when you make your character, you join one of 8 organizations. That's part of character creation. Each organization has its own goals, its own ideals. Hey. It's a comparative little. I don't know what the fuck it's compared to. Let's get that out of the way. But it's a little. Just a little scatterbrained. Anyway, Ardor of the White Eye is basically the magical Illuminati. Keepers of the Garden, what if a Catholic order discovered magic and really liked nature? No, you cannot guess. I do not like this game. Hey, Bunt Cake. But Starlight Networks, Evil Amazon, or, you know, Amazon, Supernatural Hunters Incorporated, they are basically Overkill is underrated. They're the guy that always talks about how he would have joined the military, but he wanted to punch his drill sergeant in the face. It's funny you say that, because I'm typically highly caffeinated, and that shit makes me take a nap. God bless ADHD. The morning after, so you can actually do that, Fate. So what you are going to do, let's go to Merits and Drawbacks. Fuck all. So there's a merit called Canaic Trained. Whenever you craft a pharmaceutical item, you may choose to make it as an alchemical meal instead. It retains its usual effect and also provides the consumer temporary stamina points. And then as you get better at craft pharmaceutical, what you can do with it gets better. So one of the pharmaceutical items that you can make is a tranquilizer. So yes, you can absolutely make a sandwich that puts people to sleep. My goal with the core rulebook is basically to balance, before anything else, I am just one person. I am doing everything I can. But one of the things I'm deliberately trying not to do is overwhelm myself. I have played other tabletop RPGs that were great ideas, but they tried to pull too much into the core rulebook, and it ended up being a bloated mess. A good example is the D20 version of Big Eye Small Mouth, or Bessem. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Bessem, but it's not a great system. It's one I loved. I played it. I've owned multiple ones of its books in both the D6 and D20 versions. Not the best designed system. It's great if 4 of us sit down and we're going to play it and we all know ahead of time what we're going to do, and we all agree to certain guidelines. Awesome. It can work really well that way. But if one person decides they're going to have some fun, everyone else needs to be prepared. The best example I can give is, for those of you... Yes. D20 Modern, or another good example is, if you're familiar with the D&D 3.0 version of the Psionics Handbook, how the Psionics Handbook was just leagues above in power level compared to the core rulebook. Or, to be fair, that's a lot of the 3.0, 3.5 supplements. But imagine that in the core rulebook. The core rulebook of Bessem D20, one of the character classes was a Pokemon trainer, one of them was a samurai, one of them was a witch, one of them was a mecha pilot. They tried to include every major anime genre of the early 90s, late 90s, and it was too much. Don't mind. You're one of my viewers. I love you. I love all my viewers. But don't make a modern D20 reference and then say you feel old. Fuck you. From the bottom of my heart. Because that means I'm fucking old. And I know I'm old, but I'm not okay with that. Yes. So, harem was actually a flaw. It was a drawback. I had a player take that. No. Joking aside, are you familiar with the Psionics Handbook from 3.0 Fate? One of the merits, I don't remember if it was in the D20 version, I may be thinking the D6 version, but one of the merits was literally called Unknown Power. Talk with your DM, make shit up. That's all it was. And that's great for narration, that's great for player expression, but it's not so good for game balance. And it was very easy with a 5-player group, a 4-player group, for 3 players to walk in with 15-point characters, being like, okay, we got this, and 1 player, through shenanigans, walking in with a 200-point character. Thank you, Matt. Words suck. Thank you, Minerve. I appreciate it. You are fucking awesome. Thank you. Psionic Handbook, for those that don't know, the Psionic Handbook or Tome of Battle from 3.5 was another good example of this. Psionic Handbook was extremely well balanced against the Psionic Handbook. Nothing else. Tome of Battle was extremely well balanced for what it was against the Tome of Battle. If 3 players were walking in playing core rulebook classes and 1 player was playing Tome of Battle, the other 3 might as well just go sit down. They're not part of this story. They're the sidekicks. The Tome of Battle character is going to do everything worth a damn. Words suck, dude. But that's kind of the way the core rulebook for Bessem was. Again, as long as everybody sat down and knew what they were going to do, and you all agreed to be reasonable, you were fine. Or if everybody agreed you were going to be unreasonable, and you were all going to try to make the most broken-ass characters you could, fine. But you have to be on the same page. Because it's very easy. The first time I ran it, a real campaign. Pride 100, awesome. I don't know what that notification was. Battle Puppets, I would have to look. There are 2 different summon powers in the Destiny abilities. One of them is in Judgment. It's Summon Death's avatar. And then the other one I am blanking on, but whenever we get to the Destiny part for this character, I will do it. Battle Puppets you can do. I just have to remember how to do it. So my basic plan as far as books are concerned, my plan is to launch the core rulebook. So my plan always was, and let me remember I need to look at the damn camera. One of the things I always hated, my first game was Vampire the Masquerade, but my first real game was Dungeons & Dragons, the 3.x. Right? So, one of the things I always hated, I was a poor kid. Yes, joining the military helped with that a bit. But having to buy 3 books to play the game sucked. There's a reason why my play group, we'd alternate. Okay, I've bought this book, and between all of us, we got fucking all of them. But pretty much, and it's funny because I was always the geeky loner guy in high school. I wasn't part of any of the cliques. I was the one that always looked perpetually angry and had the picture that still gets made fun of 20 years later. Usually by me, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little fucking edgelord, dude. Anyway, back on topic. So, my plan for the core rulebook is for the core rulebook to be the only book you will need in order to play the Shattered World. It will have rules on adversaries, the beastery. It's not going to have a full beastery, but it's going to have adversaries. It's going to have the settlement building rules. It's going to have the base play rules. It's going to have navigation mode and vehicle combat. You know what? I have earned a hype chest. What the fuck is this? Okay, this is the batter up emote. For a minute, I thought it was the horny bonk dog. I don't know what happened, but I've got it. So whatever happened, thank you. I love you. So the plan is for the core rulebook to be everything you need to sit down and play. I don't want you to have to buy half a dozen books before you can start playing. I plan to release True. It really could, and it'll probably be used as both. It is what it is. The core rulebook will come out. The beginner's box, 0 hour briefing, will come out shortly before or shortly after, but in the same rough time span. And then I have already started reaching out to artists for the Adversary Handbook. That will come out. I'm working with the artists on that. That will probably be 6 months or so after the core rulebook. Again, adversaries will be included in the core rulebook, so it's not like I'm releasing the core rulebook and then you can't actually use it for 6 months. But after that, the best example for what I'm talking about, for those of you familiar with Vampire the Masquerade, back in the 90s, early 2000s, when you play Vampire the Masquerade, you make your character and you are part of a clan of vampires. Each clan represents a different vampiric archetype. So your Lost Boys style angry street punks, those are the Bruja vampires. Your Buffy the Vampire Slayer Drusillas that talk in rhyme and they're fucking nuts, but they can see things other people can't. Maybe the future, maybe ghosts, whatever. That's a Malkavian. Your hideous, malformed Nosferatu style vampires are Nosferatu, etc., etc. God bless Malkavians, man. They're my favorite clan. Absolutely. I'll play any of them, and I'm slowly working through all of them, but Melks have always been my favorite. But one of the things they did that I both loved and hated, they put out clan books. It was a handbook written in character that explained what being a member of this clan was. It was like 70% lore and fluff, but then it had some basic traits and stuff that these vampires would know that most people don't. And then it had a handful of pre-made characters. That's where we found out that, hey, Fee, welcome to the stream. In the Bruja handbook, canonically, Vanilla Ice is a Bruja. But that's just one of those things that I love. My plan is to do something similar. Again, there are 8 organizations. My plan is to release a employee handbook for each of the organizations. Welcome to the morning after. You are one of our newest street exorcists. Here's a little bit about the company. Here's what you need to know. Here's a list of equipment that anyone can get, but we tend to use the most. And then here's some of your fellow employees. I plan to do one for each organization. Boo! It's okay, I talked to Steve. Steve told me I didn't have to be in the network. Steve is a wall. Steve is not a Malkavian that thinks he's a wall. Steve is technically a wall that thinks he's a Malkavian. I think that's the best way to explain that. Steve's everybody's friend. Steve apparently gets around for a fucking wall. Steve is fucking everywhere for a wall. That dude gets around. Anyway. Oh, fuck me. Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay. So for those of you not from the area or haven't been watching the weather, upstate New York right now, we can't go 5 minutes without a fucking thunderstorm. That's what I was hearing outside. So, yay. My plan is to do 8 handbooks. Basically employee handbooks explaining more lore. Again, my goal is to go about 70-80% lore, and then the rest mechanics, equipment, etc., etc. I also plan to do 5 field missions. They are basically going to be campaign settings, or if you're familiar with the Pathfinder version, adventure paths. Rather than 6 books that are spread out throughout the year, each campaign setting, each field manual is going to be 1 book. I plan to release 1... Again, this is a one-man operation. If the game takes off, I plan on hiring more people. Hopefully smarter people. I do that a lot for an atheist, but... hopefully smarter people, but... My goal is to put out 5 of those that will explore the overall meta plot of the Shattered World. And then the 5th book is going to be the big storyline oh shit moment. And that will lead into the Shattered World 2.0. And that is, again, going to be 5-10 years down the road. I miss the winter when we'd occasionally get thunder snow. I remember when I was working in Okinawa at the time. Pretty much, yeah. SHI is largely, if you know a guy who loves tactical stuff, like he's the guy that doesn't know how to shoot, but he has 30 guns and 5,000 rounds of ammunition, and when the apocalypse comes, he's gonna protect all of you, but he doesn't know how to fucking tie a bandage or how to find food or forage or grow anything. He's a candidate for the SHI. That is me being unfair to my own organization. It is. They're not that bad. But that was basically my original inspiration for them. SHI... I am a huge fan. How do I say this without setting myself up for a lawsuit? I am a huge fan of urban and modern fantasy. I always have been. Even some of the ones that are not great. And there is one in particular that I absolutely loved the idea of. And then I made the mistake of actually reading it. And it was bad. And it pissed me off. And it's not just that book or that book series. It's kind of that mindset. Right. The basic premise... Let me go ahead and open up the SHI thing so you guys can see it. The basic premise behind SHI isn't bad. But SHI is very much the in-universe equivalent of Blackwater, Blackrock. You can absolutely ask me later. But SHI's whole premise is basically, if there are 100 zombies in the middle of a city and you kill 99 of them, what happens? A week later, you've got 1,000 zombies. If there are 10 vampires in the city terrorizing people and you kill 9 of them, what happens? A week later, there's 100 vampires, etc., etc., etc. They believe, and they genuinely believe, or at least their leadership does, that the only way to deal with supernatural threats like this is overkill. Anything else is a half-assed solution that only causes more pain in the long run. And if civilian casualties happen, that sucks. But it beats the alternative. That's the mindset of SHI. It's a mindset that I personally do not like, but it is a mindset. And it is represented in the Shattered World. The Shattered World is not a world of sunshine and roses. Urban fantasy is not a genre of sunshine and roses. There are bad people that find themselves fighting on the side of good. Now, having said that, if you decide to buy the Shattered World, right. Nice, Noel. Damn good. That's awesome. I got distracted by a raid coming in and everybody hearing, so this has changed into not so much character creation, though I will get back to that, I promise, but also game design and discussion. And talking about Steve the Wall. Where the fuck was I? Yes, Lord Farquaad. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. That's pretty much it. Again, I referred to Starlight Networks at the beginning as evil Amazon. Bad organizations can have good people working for them. One of the things I tried to do, and this is something I also like to point out, there we go, views on other organizations. So, every one of the organizations has a section, views on other organizations. Listen. I don't have a walker yet. It's coming. I'm surprised I don't have one on order. My fucking hip hurts sometimes, and all of you kids keep getting onto my lawn. I don't appreciate that. Stay off my fucking lawn. Yeah, basically, Noel. I'll give you some fucking Werthers. So you're gonna see a section, views on other organizations, and this is how the average SHI member feels about the average Ardor of the White Eye member. Now, average member does not equal every member. When you're... Yeah, they do. When you make your character, do not think, okay, I'm playing, we all need to be from SHI. We all need to be from the morning after. We all need to be... You don't have to be. Just something to keep in mind, because again, tabletop RPGs are a cooperative storytelling game. Yes, there is combat. Yes, there are rules for combat. Yes, if you watch me running a Shattered World game on our Sunday stream at 10 a.m., yay plug. I do heavily use maps and tokens, and that doesn't mean that you don't roleplay. So for example, the average member of the SHI does not like the Ardor of the White Eye, the magical Illuminati. Destructo is one of the employees that gets timed. The average member of the SHI thinks the average member of the Ardor of the White Eye is a self-righteous prick, busy lording it over everyone else, blah blah blah. You can read, I'm not going to read it off to you. If I am playing a member of SHI, and Noel is playing a member of the Ardor of the White Eye, that doesn't necessarily mean we hate one another. Right, basically, time. But that gives you an excuse to explain why our characters are cool with one another. In the Shattered World, tears, rips in reality can happen, and they can happen anywhere. When one is found, all hands on deck. There are not a lot of enhanced player characters to take care of these tears. And when a tear appears, it can make people enhanced. Most people don't want to be enhanced. Especially not the people that have wealth and power in the world. So they will be more likely to quarantine and retreat and wait for an enhanced to deal with it. And to stabilize it so that it can be used. When a tear appears, if you are in the area, you have a responsibility to respond. If the only other people that can respond you absolutely hate, I'm sorry, dude, that sucks, but do your fucking job. That is the mindset. So, in the Shattered World, for those of you familiar with American history, if you're familiar with the early 1900s, the factory towns, Battle of Blair Mountain, very much that Gilded Age era, the Shattered World never really left that era. When I'm describing it to new people, lore-wise, thematically, the Shattered World very much is a blend of Cyberpunk, Shadowrun, and Vampire the Masquerade. Triangle, what do you mean? I'm confused. It's really easy to do. Alright, so we have a lot of people on right now. A lot of new people. What I had been started doing earlier. Let me go back to chat. Yes! Triangle Shirtwaist Factory, yes. Okay. I like that, Noel. And Fee, yeah, it's fucking pouring here too now. A lot of thunder as well. I'm gonna keep streaming for a bit, but I'm also gonna keep on... Yeah, you weren't, but I have 10 people in stream, and that's a lot. Yeah, I am sitting next to a window. But I am gonna go back to character creation. I will give a quick run through for it real quick, for the new people. Here is our character sheet. It is designed to roughly emulate a police report. Front page will have a bunch of different high-level information on your character. Basic destiny abilities you have. In this game, destiny abilities are the equivalent of spells in a D&D or Pathfinder game. And each one of the destinies is based off one of the major arcana in the tarot. When the Shattered World launches, it will have 12 destinies, each with 12 destiny abilities, and then every one of the core field manuals, the core campaign settings, will release more major arcana. Merits. Excuse me. It is past my bedtime. Matlock is already over. But merits, those are feats. Organization and title, again, what organization you join, personality, identifying marks, etc. 5 base core attributes. Ferocity, agility, endurance, mental acuity, and resolve. Agility is your hand-eye coordination, your movement, etc. Endurance is your ability to take a hit, withstand damage, withstand diseases, etc. Mental acuity is your intelligence. Resolve is your mental fortitude, your ability to stick with things. Ferocity. The important thing to remember is what ferocity is not. Ferocity is not pure strength. Right? That gang member that lifts a car over his head and hurls it at you, that is a measure of ferocity. That 50-pound soaking wet mage that screams in defiance and hurls a fireball the size of a fucking Volkswagen at you, that's ferocity. The martial artist that eyes you coldly in the rain and then with one swift movement, 1-inch punches through your chest, that's ferocity. Ferocity is your willingness to hurt the other person, not necessarily your strength. Important stats, these are your calculated stats. So if I have a higher ferocity, that's actions per turn. My speed is based off my agility. Destiny points. All destiny abilities cost destiny points to use. Basically a mana system. Evasions. So, again, in a D&D or a Pathfinder, if you have an AC and armor class at 18, I can swing at you 100 times, and every time I will have to hit that 18, and you can try to dodge as many attacks as you want. With this, you have a number of evasions per turn equal to your aptitude and evasiveness. This character, so far, can only attempt to dodge 1 attack per turn. If they get attacked twice, every attack after the first is an automatic success. That also applies to adversaries. So tactics, finding and holding chokeholds, choke points, not chokeholds, a little different. Very much it's there to emphasize and encourage that tactical gameplay. Armor is damage reduction. And then salary is your wealth. Survivability, stamina and wounds. Back in the day, I used to teach tabletop RPGs to new people that wanted to learn how to play them. One of the problems that new players routinely had was the concept of hit points. I can't tell you the number of times I would get into an argument with a new player. Well, I shot him in the head with an arrow. He should be dead. Yes, however, you only did 3 points of damage. He has 30 hit points. You didn't really hit him, you grazed him. Well, I rolled a natural 20. I hit it right like so. For this, I went with a little bit more abstract. Stamina is basically a measure of your ability to weather the minor aches and bumps and cuts and bruises that you get just kind of without thinking about it when you're very active, when you're in a fight. Once your stamina hits 0, any additional damage you take gets a... Alright, am I back, everybody? Can you hear me? It looks like it did flicker for half a second. So, at this point, no video. Okay, give me 1 second. Alright. Am I fully back? So, as much as I don't want to, I've loved talking to all of you. My new people, my old people, Fate, Mind, Mad, Time, Fee, Super, Minerva. Again, thank you for the subs for everybody. I greatly appreciate it. With the weather, I am going to call it here before I lose power again. So, our next stream will be tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing Bitey's Breaks, and I'm going to be continuing Clair Obscure, Expedition 33. Thursday is going to be our other Bitey's Breaks, again, Clair Obscure. Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, is going to be our next Shattered World Tabletop RPG. I look forward to seeing all of you. Again, any questions? Facebook.com/MrBitey's. Check us out. We'd love to see ya. Y'all take care. Be safe. Stay safe.